JF Stretford, Paddock, this is Transfers Live. Joining me, it's a treat for me, it's Adam McKola. How are we doing, brother?
What's going on, brother?
Mate, I've not seen you for a little while and we're doing 2 videos in the same day. Yes,
cheers on that.
Chin chin. You good?
How you doing? Yeah, I'm all right. What's going on? It's good to be here. And it's even better when we got some news linking us with very good players, isn't it?
Mate, I'm almost tempted to get excited here because, yeah, we've got a lot to get through. As you may have guessed, we're talking about Raphael Varane. That could be happening. Camavinga as well, you like him, don't you?
Cowabunga.
Eduardo Camavinga, you're a big fan, aren't you?
I actually am a big fan of his. And this signing actually feels like, now they're different kind of players. He could grow into that role, I suppose. Yeah. I think Camavinga can become whatever he wants to be. If he wants to be an 8, if he wants to be a 6, he can be that. But this reminds me of, do you remember the rush to get Michael Essien?
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of years ago now.
Yeah.
And it was like, you knew this player was a midfielder that could sit in your midfield for the next 10 years and dominate. This is how it feels with Eduardo Camavinga. Now, some people might think I'm getting carried away. Let us know in the comments what you think. How good you think Eduardo Camavinga is. And if you see any of the comparisons or similarities with the need to sign Michael Essien at that time.
Do you remember we had Essien?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, work permits, mate. Anyway, we're going to
Michael Essien.
Go on.
Ian Robin.
Don't.
They were all at Carrington.
Don't.
John Obi Mikel signed.
Signed, mate, and then said he got kidnapped.
Gone to his head, apparently.
Yeah, all right. It's nothing to do with Chelsea just offering you lots more money. Yeah, so we're getting into Camavinga. We're going to be talking about Danny Ings. We'll talk about it. Paul Pogba as well, one of your favourites. Tellez, Delo, stadiums as well, mate. Hey, back in the stadiums.
We're buying a new stadium.
I actually would have a new stadium, but that's a different story. We're going back in the stadiums. As Macca said, get involved in the comments. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Let us know what you think about all the latest rooms, all the latest stories we'll be talking about. David already in the super chat says, are the Glazers making amends if we land Varane and Cam?
I love that. I was reading that like, R.D. Glazer, who's that? And you read it correctly straight away. I love that one of us
got a bit, yeah, he's got a bit of,
thanks for your super chat, David.
A bit of chat
are they making amends? No.
I'm glad you said that, because they're not. Listen, I'll tell you what, if they want to build us a new stadium because they've let the old one go to rack and ruin, if they want to pay back all the debt they've got us into, if they want to pay back all the dividends they've taken out of the club, if they want to make up for 16 years of not even speaking to the fans, if they want to rebuild the women's team that made a big song and dance that's falling apart because the manager just left, if they want to do all those things this summer, then maybe I might start forgiving them. Yeah. Anyway, Rohan.
Jabir as well. Shall I read Jabir's out? Jabir says, Adam looking fresh. That's why I wanted to read it out. And happy anniversary, Dre, he says. Is it our anniversary today?
Nah, I was 7 years clean and sober the other day, boy.
Oh, I thought it was that our anniversary?
Oh, sorry, I'm reading the next one.
Nah, it was, and I gotta say, congratulations.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Congratulations, yes. Well done. I don't know how Jay stays sober when he's surrounded by so many absolute bellends in this office. And I include myself in that. I'm a massive bellend, bro. You know. But Joe's a bigger bellend. Steve is the biggest bellend in Manchester. Biggest fool in Manchester.
Biggest fool in Manchester. You are nothing.
And he has to put up with all of us.
You are a waste of
babysit
time.
everyone, and the interns, and everyone else. Joe does a bit as well, but you know I'm surprised he ain't hit the drugs again. In fact, if he hit the drugs again, I'd say fair play, Jay.
No, mate.
But as it is, congratulations.
I have to remind myself, you can get through the David Moyes era or the Louis van Gaal's football. You can get through anything. Trust me on that one. Rohan Samurai says, how was your 7th birthday, Jay, lad? Yeah, it was good stuff. Thank you. Karthik Raghavan says, what about James Garner if we sign Camavinga? Yeah,
that means we've got, in the future, it'll be this midfield three. Look, Jimmy Garner.
Yeah, man.
Camavinga.
Yeah, man.
Hannibal Medjbury.
Yeah, man. Oh, Medjbury's good, isn't it?
Oh, imagine Camavinga, Medjbury. Future's bright, bro.
Mate.
Future's red.
Do you know what
Dylan Levitt.
Mate, tell you what. Do you know what I like about Medjbury? Go back to him. He's crazy, isn't he? He's got that about him. Do you know what I mean?
He's a shit house.
He's got that little bit about him, mate. I mean, we was watching in the 23s the last game of the season, and he got sent off for the second yellow card, and he called the guy over. He literally went, put his arm on him, and the referee's like, what are you doing? And he's like, come on. Just sent him off. I was like, mate, I've never seen that before in my life. One player we have got to look forward to is Jadon Sancho. Harry Maguire's been talking about him. He says, Jadon's a top player, an exceptional talent, a young lad with a lot of experience, and his numbers speak for themselves with what he's done over in Germany. Harry Maguire chatting absolute shit.
World-class numbers.
I'm joking, he's not really.
20
he's talking the truth.
goals.
Yes, come on, hit me with the
Sorry.
stats, brother.
20 assists for the
Yes.
3 consecutive seasons.
Yeah.
That's incredible. He had one season where he hit 20 goals in there.
Yeah.
And he hit double figures in both of those other campaigns. The boy shits goals and assists.
Yeah,
and
man.
if you add that to, now I do think Jadon Sancho coming in will change the way we play a little bit. So it will mean Jadon Sancho gets 10 goals, 10 assists.
Yeah.
It will mean Bruno probably gets less goals, less assists.
Okay.
But it will mean our striker, whoever that is, Cavani, Marshall, even if it's Bruno in a false 9, Greenwood, whoever it is, they're going to get way more chances, way more opportunities. They're going to have a winger. How many times did I cry to you and Joe last season? Like, boys, we got 3 strikers up front. All of them are just looking to score goals. No one's looking to play a 1-2. No one's looking to pass to anyone. They're just looking to shoot every time. And now we actually have a winger that is a winger.
Yeah.
That his first choice, his first thought might be, actually, can I set up a goal as well?
Yeah.
And I think that brings a different dynamic to your front three and the rest of your team as well.
Do you know what?
Amazing dynamic.
It's amazing you said that, because we spoke to one of Jadon Sancho's former coaches from Watford. That video is going to be up on the channel tomorrow. And he said exactly what you said. He said the thing when you buy Jadon Sancho is you don't just get a player who is amazing. You're getting a player who elevates those around him, who's going to bring in the likes of Bruno, the likes of Cavani, the likes of Martial, the likes of Rashford, the likes of Mason. Get them more goals, get them more opportunities, more chances. You've seen him do it for Dortmund. We've even seen him for England, how he's been given an opportunity and he's shone. So I just can't wait to see him. And I bet players like Martial and Rashford are just...
I'm going to say it, but I find some of the way people are talking about Martial.
Go on.
You're talking about him like he's a scrubber. You're talking about him like he's finished out here. It's going to be player of the year again, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's your statement there.
It's happening. We've got a winger that's going to look to create goals for the striker. We just never had it last year.
No, we didn't. To be fair, and I think that Ollie does seem to still have a lot of faith in Anthony Martial. You know what I mean? He had a bad season last season, especially in terms of numbers. But the season before that, he was hitting, 20-odd goals. So I'm not giving up on him yet. I'm with you on that one. And I think with someone like Jadon Sancho in the team, he'll only get bigger and better.
Not much time, though, because next year we'll be buying Haaland if he's available. That's where it becomes a make or break.
You can't have back-to-back
Yeah.
underperforming seasons.
Yeah, you can't.
He'll get one, and then that's it.
I think you get the benefit of the doubt also comes in where you go, no pre-season, early red card, like.
Do you know what? And it annoyed me. You know what annoyed me about Martial is when there was games where he actually played well, but he missed chances.
Yeah.
Like the City game, he was man of the match, but he missed the sitter. The Leeds game, he's involved in everything, but he missed 2 easy chances.
Yeah. PSG.
Yeah, and then people don't remember the game; they just remember the chances, and that's just it. I think he just seems to lack a little bit of confidence for me, Martial. And I think once he starts a new season, fresh, he's not had any European or anything to do in the summer, comes back fully fit, gets some chances created for him by Jadon Sancho, starts banging him in, and he won't stop. Suav Mukherjee says, if we manage to get the right DM, we're in challenging for the title. Glazers can get away with all this if we win a title. Ollie needs a massive turnaround if the Ollie out gang to turn silent. Glory, Man United. I don't know, man. I mean, we've already sort of spoken about the Glazers, but you have to do a lot more than me than just win a title. I think that, you know, you look at the long-term future of the club in their hands, it's never going to be secure. And I think, hopefully, we're hearing about shares and stuff being given to fans. Hopefully that could lead to them leading out the door one day.
We've protested against the Glazers after back-to-back titles, so it's not going to stop.
Well, maybe green and gold in 2010, we won the Champions League 2 seasons previous. We'd won the league that season. We were in the Champions League final the season before and the season after. So it's not just, you know, I'm not saying the guy in the comments saying that, but it's not just about winning trophies. It's about the long-term security of the club.
Now, here's a good question. Rohan says, anyone smarter than me? Now, I'm not smarter than you. He says, know if Camavinga can be a lone DM. Now, what I will tell you about Camavinga is, he's an all-round, like if we're looking for an out-and-out holding midfielder right now, right here, right now, Camavinga probably isn't it.
He's not?
Not right now.
Right, okay.
But he has the ability and the potential and the traits to be whatever he wants to be. Right. Because he can tackle, he can move, he can pass. He's got a little bit of skill if he needs it. He's an all-round 8 at the moment, but he plays with a clever head. Right. He knows when to break in and break up play. He made the most tackles. I think it might say there. The most tackles out of any under 21 player. Only 3 players have made 200 plus tackles in Europe's top 5 leagues. But also, out of all the young players, he makes the most tackles out of anybody, which is shown there again because.
Well, I don't think they can see the stats. So you go through there. You've got Wilfred Ndidi made 224 tackles. Aaron Wan-Bissaka made 217 tackles, and Eduardo Camavinga made 203 tackles.
So I think with gaining experience, with gaining all those type of things, he could become that number 6 for us, and he could do that. But if we were to sign him now, next season, he would be part of the 4-2-3-1, and he'd be part of that too, until he gains more experience, understands the Premier League, gains the physicality of the Premier League. He can do it all, I think. He definitely can do it all.
Can you have him? And you know, now and again, sometimes, like, it's usually Fred and McTominay, but now and again you've had Fred and Pogba, or McTominay and Pogba, I think, have done it a couple of times in that holding role. Could you have Camavinga and Pogba, do you think, playing deep? Or does it have to be...
in some games.
Yeah?
In my opinion,
go on.
Camavinga is more suited to playing with Pogba in a 4-2-3-1 than Fred or McTominay.
Right, okay. Good.
But is he the out and out, like, is he the Kante? Is he the, like, the right here, right now?
Yeah.
Probably not. But I saw him on his debut against PSG. He fucking tore the place up. He was like 17 years old. He was running into tackles. He was winning fouls, doing all sorts. The boy has it all. He has it all.
Because I still think that, you know, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We've not got Camavinga yet, and we're going to get into some quotes on him in a minute. But I think Ollie's got some decisions to make as well next season about where Pogba fits in, where does Rashford fit in, because a lot of the time, you know, he's moving Rashford over to the right, Pogba was on the left. That can't happen if you've got Jadon Sancho. There's some tough decisions for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to make.
I'm hoping with a stronger defence, i.e. Varane, we can play a 4-3-3 and try and be a little bit more expansive.
That would be amazing.
And it's a little tweak.
Yeah.
It's a major tweak. It's a major tweak that we need to do.
Make all the difference. David Briscoe in the Super Chat says, congrats on 7 years. I'll have 7 myself in November. Keep it up. Well done, David. 7 years, man. Do you know what I mean? Let's have it right. Well done,
I've been doing this for 8 years.
You've been doing this for a while, haven't you, mate? Eh?
So for this whole time I've been doing this, you've been sober?
Pretty much, mate, yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's just got to be done, hasn't it?
Was Munich, when I was with you, was that your first sober trip?
It might have been,
you saying something.
Nah, do you know what my first sober trip was? Just before Munich, it was the round before, I think. Olympiacos. I mean, gee, I didn't drink in that trip. It's a miracle. That was the worst performance, genuinely, by a Manchester United team I've ever seen in Europe. We got beat 2-0 by a bang average Olympiacos team. And you know one of them ones as well at the end of the game, Maka, where you stood there, you're annoyed, it's been terrible, and the players just walk off and don't even applaud you.
Do you know,
like,
I
think it was only Ashley Young, I think, who did it.
I was talking to Rory about this today. Like, it's very easy for a player like this to go to the away.
Yeah.
And everyone in the away goes, oh, he fucking gets it.
Yeah.
But really, player being disappointed walking down the tunnel, it means nothing. It literally means they're upset. Like, they want to get off the pitch. They're sad. Like, they're upset too. It literally means nothing, but I get it.
Yeah.
It's like small wins.
It's just like little
Rooney
thing.
could have done better with them. Kind of things, isn't
Do you know what I mean? Like those little things where you're annoyed, but then you're leaving the stadium after the players have given you that, and you just feel a little bit.
Or even like a little
you
know, when you score and you do that.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't have to do that.
No, man.
You don't mean nothing.
Do you know what I mean?
But we think it does.
Lie
to me.
Do you know what's funny about that night as well? Is that Roy Keane was there on commentary, and a few people chanting Keano, and he just walked off, and like, Tom, my mate, he's always held a grudge against him about it. He's like, don't like Keano anymore. And I'm like, I don't really care about Roy Keane because he don't play for United anymore.
My dream is to be told to fuck off by Roy Keane.
I've had that, and he's amazing, man. It's the
Do
best
you know what I mean?
feeling ever.
Like,
Yeah.
I think I'd probably go, Roy, can I have a picture? And he'll go, fuck off. And I'll go, yes, that's better than a picture. Yes.
Vlad in the super chat says I believe he's talking about Camavinga, says he's also the most technically gifted, and as a CDM very fast. People seem to forget he's super young, scary player. Cheers from Toronto. It's weird, isn't it? Because he's 18, and I think he's played 95 games, hasn't he?
All the attributes.
Mate, like,
plays mainly in centre mid though.
Yeah.
But that's because Rennes don't have Bruno. They don't have a Pogba. They don't have all these guys. Do you know what I mean? So you need to say, all right, Eduardo Camavinga is one of our best players. Allow him to go further forward. But I think in a team where you give him a year to catch up with the Premier League, I think he could become that for you. For sure.
So exciting.
For sure. Talking about that though,
Go on.
I've heard linked to the Camavinga thing. Now, Fabrizio Romano said Pogba's future isn't related to Camavinga coming in.
Right, okay.
But Donny van der Beek's could.
Yeah.
What would you do with Donny? I'd swap him for Camavinga like that, but we don't have to swap.
No. I still think Donny van der Beek's got a future at Manchester United. I don't think he had a particularly good season. Get involved in the chat as well and let us know what you think about Donny van der Beek. I just feel like he didn't make any position his own, did he? He didn't come in and go, right, I'm playing in the 6 now, and this is my position. I'm going to play as an 8. He didn't do any of that. He came in when the likes of Pogba or Bruno or Fred or whoever were dropped, and he never really shone. I'm not saying he played badly all the time, because he didn't, but you get to the point where he didn't even feature in the Europa League final. He had 4 Premier League starts for the entire season. You know, I mean, he scored 1 Premier League goal on his debut, and he didn't really do anything in the Premier League after that. So I think to get into a team like Manchester United, a team that finished second, and finished second comfortably, you've got to force your way in there. Do you know what I mean? Do you remember when Alexis Sanchez came in and Martial was dropped? And I remember saying, if Martial has got to force his way back into the team, and he did. Do you know what I mean? You show it with your performances. Donny van der Beek didn't really do that last season.
He didn't have the opportunity, man. I don't feel it. And because you know what it is? When he had a game, it was always an isolated game. So it's not, he had a bad game on a Saturday and then he played again on Wednesday and he was all right on Wednesday and you can see him getting fitter. I thought he was never really given that opportunity to get fitter. That's
a fair point, which is why I say I've not given up on him yet and I still think there's a player there. I just don't think yet he's shown us anything where you go, right, he's in the team. So he needs to do that. I don't necessarily think going out. I think there was a talk of him going out on loan to Real Madrid or whatever. I don't think that's the answer for him. And I also think we need a bit of a squad this season. We need a squad.
But we need to get rid of someone then, because if you do get Eduardo Camavinga,
yeah,
Paul Pogba, Bruno Fernandes, can't count Bruno Fernandes, let's leave him out. Paul Pogba, Camavinga, Fred, McTominay, Matic. It's too many into those 2 positions. Because let's say Bruno and Donny van der Beek are rotation for the 10.
Yeah.
5 don't go into 2. Matic, is he going to
Matic, maybe. Is he? I mean, we keep saying this, but has he finally come to the end now? Has he passed it?
But he's taking pictures with Vidic and stuff like he's going to be here forever. I don't understand.
Well, he signed that deal, didn't he, 2 years ago? Last season, beginning of last season, I think it was, or end of the season before. Another extension for 3 years. So he's got another 2 years left on his deal, which is just ridiculous. So, yeah, we probably do need to move someone on. I don't know. I just think that Donny van der Beek should stick around and try and force the issue. I feel if he goes, I get the feeling he won't come back. And I think that would be a bit of a shame. Jeremy Young, welcome to the first team. Thanks for your support. Peter Kelly says, if we get Varane and Camavinga, how would you feel if we signed Ings on top of that?
I'd feel worried because that therefore means my boy's gone.
Yeah, I don't think we're bringing Danny Ings in.
The question has to be, if Cavani left,
I
think Ings would be a very interesting prospect when Cavani's staying.
Do you know what though, mate? Like, he does all right, Danny Ings, and his numbers over the last couple of seasons have been good. But part of me is feeling like, do we really need him as a squad player? Do we really need someone like Danny Ings? Like, would you rather see Danny Ings come in or keep Martial and have Martial, Greenwood, and Cavani?
But if we never had Cavani, I wouldn't mind the Danny Ings.
Yeah, but we have got Cavani.
No, sorry. I don't look at the Martial thing. I look at who's your experienced striker.
Yeah.
Who's an ability to lead the line.
Yeah.
I think Danny Ings is a poor man's fucking Cavani. I think he is.
100%.
Like, he's a good striker. Do you know what I mean? He's not bad. He flopped at Liverpool, but that was with a lot of injuries.
No, he had a horrific injury, didn't he?
Well, a horrific
which kept him out for a long time. Went to Southampton, absolutely set the world alight, didn't he, for that one season with 20-odd goals, and everyone was like, where's this come from? No one thought he was sort of capable of reaching them levels. Had not as good a season last season, but a positive season, good one.
Has he played for Burnley before?
Yeah, he got 10, I think he got 10 goals in the season when he was at Burnley. Got his move to Liverpool as a bit of a backup striker. Had that injury, bounced back from it, done really well. Obviously, he's got that experience. He's got a bit of goal scoring pedigree in the Premier League. He's just, he's a Scouse reject. No, but I don't know. I just don't feel like we need Danny Ings. I don't think he's that good where you go, right, Martial out, Danny Ings in. I think that, for me, I'd still give Martial another season at least. Tom Greenwell says, who balances the books by heading out, lads? Cheers for the great content from Australia. What about Jesse? I know you love Jesse, but is he not someone who's going to go out to balance the books? If you're talking about balancing the books, not just the midfield, because I know you were talking about midfield earlier.
See, I think Jesse will leave eventually, but I think he partly wants to stay. I think he's weighing up who's leaving.
Yeah.
at United to see where he fits in. Would I rather keep Jesse or Donny? At this moment, given what they've done for the club, probably Jesse. But Donny's a fresher player. He's a younger player. He's a more exciting player, etc. I think Jesse will leave. I also think we could see Delo leave. Whether I'd do that, not personally. I think I'd give him a chance, especially when you're looking at us possibly being in the market for a right back. We've got one there at home in Diogo Delo. I do think Diogo Delo could possibly be made available. Jesse Lingard, Nemanja Matic, Andreas Pereira, and I do think David De Gea's gone now. How many goalkeepers have we got at the minute? Tom Heaton, Lee Grant, fucking Dean Henderson, David De Gea. We've got all these Tom, Dick and Harrys, bro. Like, it just looks to me like we're going to be stuck with Dean Henderson and Tom Heaton. I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Heaton's our number one next season.
Wow, really?
I genuinely have that kind of feeling with Dean Henderson.
That's not the most crazy thing I've heard, to be honest with you, because people look and go, Tom Heaton, what was he? Was he Aston Villa's reserve or whatever?
But I'd rather keep De Gea. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's really weird because I still feel like, despite the fact we've got all those goalkeepers, there could be a third option. Like everyone's going, it's either Henderson or De Gea. Well, I don't think either of those had a great season last season. I think they had some good games. I think Dean Henderson came in and did okay. There were still mistakes there. I think David De Gea obviously made mistakes. Otherwise, Dean Henderson wouldn't have got a sniff. He wouldn't have got in the team for starters. Tom Heaton's got a lot of experience. Did really well when he was at Burnley, but isn't like what you'd class as someone who's an outstanding world-class goalkeeper, and he's 35 as well. So he's only short-term if he does come in. So I still feel like
I'd trust Tom Heaton more than Dean Henderson.
Really? You're just thinking about that Burnley game, aren't you? Do you remember that?
It was mental, innit?
We could be playing that game now and it'd still be 0-0. Oh my God,
How many chances is that I miss?
Oh, mate, don't. I don't think I've ever seen...
Pogba that season should have had 60, 70
You
assists.
always say this, mate. You do.
The amount of chances he put on a plate.
Do you know what the thing with Pogba and Zlatan was as well? That I've never seen this with Pogba since, not for United anyway, is he adored Zlatan. He looked up to Zlatan. So if Pogba had a chance and Zlatan had half a chance, he was giving it Zlatan. Do you know what I mean? It was like, here you go, Zlatan. He absolutely worships
Zlatan helped Mourinho a lot.
Yeah.
Control that dressing room.
Yeah, and God knows Mourinho needed it. Just quickly on Raphael Varane, because we didn't really speak about him properly. 50 million. There's reports that we've made a bid. I think it's coming out of Marca in Spain. 50 million for Varane. If we can get that deal done, and it's a big if, it's still not certain. I mean,
it's a deal. It's a steal. It's sell of the fucking century, bro.
Yes, bro.
It literally.
That is something special.
When we talk about £73 million for Jadon Sancho, £25 million for Eduardo Camavinga, who I would happily spend 3 times that amount on.
Yeah.
And Varane for 50 million euros, is it? It's around £45 million.
Yeah, roughly around there.
You are looking at, pound for pound, one of the best windows we've had. Probably since Nani, Anderson, Hargreaves.
Really?
You're looking at
the best post Fergie window.
Yeah, obviously, especially you can look at Bruno Fernandes, and you can look at the window where we brought in Pogba and Zlatan and
was it Mkhitaryan as well?
Mickey and Bay, and that was a good window, and it obviously ended up in 2 trophies. But this is like the cherry on the top of what we're building here at the moment. And if you get Varane and you get Sancho, well, we've got Sancho.
That's mad, that, isn't it?
And
still can't get over that.
You get a Camavinga. It's close to a 10 out of 10 window, you know.
Really?
Depending on the outgoings.
I think the Camavinga one's the big one for me, because Sancho, I always thought we'd do Sancho. I just thought we're not going to go another summer, not getting him. We know the dance. We speak to a lot of journalists. You speak to a lot of journalists. They're all saying,
I don't speak to no journalists.
Well, last season we did, and you just ignored them all because they were all saying we ain't going to get him this summer, and you were like, you lot being negative. You just say you lot being negative. We are. I was like, we're not. And anyway, they said we'd get him this season, and we have. The Varane one, all right, it came out a little bit out of the blue, but you know, for me that wasn't a priority. Even though we've got issues at centre back, for me, a midfielder is more of a priority, and to get someone like Eduardo Camavinga, who potentially could come to United for the next 10 years, it's just phenomenal. Danny Shields in the super chat says, Dino's stats penalty last season were literally twice as good for saves and goals conceded than David's, even though he made more mistakes penalty. Elite. Dan Ulrich says, let Dave get a testimonial. Make sure we make the right decision. Cheers for Boston, guys. Congrats on 7 years, Jay. Keep it up. Thank you, brother. Yeah, see, it's weird with David De Gea, isn't it? Because there's still that emotional thing as well, man. Because he was our one shining light in a sea of shite, wasn't he? Do you know what I mean? For a few years, like, he was the only player in United team where you go, he walks into any team in the world.
And
do you know what I mean? Let's have it right. But
how do I say this respectfully?
He's just not good enough at the minute.
No. I don't feel comfortable swapping out De Gea for some snotty-nosed kid. Who do you think you are, bro? Oh, if I'm not number one, I'm leaving. Cool, bye.
Do you know what it is, right? I've got to tread carefully how I say this. Like, I like Dean Henderson. I do. I like the fact, yeah, I like the confidence. And it's a trait that you see with a lot of English goalkeepers, and I'm not being like, nothing against the goalkeepers. There's like that massive edge to them. Yeah. Like the hyper. Like Joe Hart used to be like
Passion
that.
Merchant.
Yeah. We've seen it with Jordan Pickford. He's like, they've had to like calm him down. That's how you get him. Yeah. And even like the other day against Ukraine, he's like nearly sliced the ball into his own goal. It's just like he's on a hyper constantly. And you get that with Dean Henderson. Do you remember like in Sheffield United where he tried to take on someone who gets tackled? He's always got that sort of craziness about him. And I think sometimes it's like, listen, I've got your confidence. I like the fact you command your area, you talk to your defenders and all that jazz. But maybe you just need to just chill out a little bit. Because sometimes that craziness can lead to mistakes. It can lead to, just conceding goals, and that can knock your confidence and then, go to anyone. So, yeah, it just worries me a little bit in what you say. But
is it racist if we don't trust English goalkeepers?
That's what I mean. I'm worried. That's what I was worried about. There you go. We've moved that down there for you.
Fucking hell.
We've just moved the sign, don't worry. It's not if you don't trust English goalkeepers, and there are lots of good English goalkeepers. I just have a little bit of a worry about Dean Henderson. Surav Mukherjee says...
Mukherjee, that is, man.
Sorry.
It's my doctor's name.
Mukherjee. Sorry about
Mukherjee.
That one. There you go. We fixed it. Hey? Don't worry about it. Right, yeah. Your doctor's name says, Simon Horrible for Spain, not sure how... Oh, sorry, Simon Horrible for Spain. Not sure how come people calling out De Gea. He had some terrible time this season, but I still think he, along with Hendo, should be good enough for us. Transfer window for ages. Yeah, I mean... It's just a weird one, man. It's just like... It's easy to just think, yeah, it's David De Gea in it, but there were some mistakes last season. Get involved in the comments anyway, let us know what you think, and not just about the fact that the sign fell down, which a lot of you commented on. Let us know what you think about David De Gea, let us know what you think about Raphael Varane.
We do like this.
Let us know what you think about Eduardo Camavinga. Lots of comings-ins, eh? If that's
coming
even,
in you.
Yeah, thank you, that's none of your business. Could be some outs as well, though, including your mate, Paul Labille, because... It's sort of that time again, isn't it, with Paul Pogba? I mean, we've not had one for a while.
Well, I've said what I need to say on this before, and I'll say it again.
Go on then, because it's PSG apparently, isn't it?
I want nothing more than Paul Pogba to sign a new deal at Man United.
Yeah.
I'd love us to keep him at the club.
Yeah.
And I believe we should do all we can to keep him, especially if you look at bringing in Varane, Sancho, Camavinga potentially. Like, why wouldn't you want to be a part of this team and what we're building? I think you'd be able to sell that to Paul Pogba. But I must reiterate, if Paul Pogba doesn't want to be here and he doesn't want to sign a new deal, I don't like these talks or this idea that we'd go into the season with Paul Pogba still here and just trying to make him sign a new deal when he can potentially talk to clubs in January. In my opinion, if he doesn't sign a deal by 2-3 weeks before the window closes, you get rid.
Really?
You get rid. You take 40-50 million pounds, whatever it is, and you reinvest it elsewhere, go and get Jack Grealish. Because for me, you can't go into January where he can then start talking to clubs. Mino Raiola's opening his big fat mouth everywhere.
Yeah.
We're trying to focus on challenging for something, hopefully, and we've got all this going on. Yeah. What if we've got like the knockout stage of the Champions League, if we're still in it, and all these things coming up, and we've got that going on? I can't take that. And if you're going to sign a contract, sign it in the summer. Why do you need to wait till... So, in my opinion, I'd start making ultimatums if I was Manchester United.
Yeah.
And I'd start saying, bruv, here's the final offer. If it's not signed by this time, we're going to be looking to move you on. Now that might fall into their hands. It might be ideal for them. But what's worse, what's major beastie, is if United let this geezer go for free yet again.
Yet again.
So in
That's
my
the
opinion,
thing, innit?
sign up, shit out, sell him up if he doesn't sign up, and go and get my boy Jack Grealish. Joe
Ryan says 100% agree with Adam. Steve Johnson says so true. Pog sign or Pog off. Top P says get rid of Pogba if he can't commit before the season starts. Just to allow me here, right? Just devil's advocate slightly. Mm-hmm. Paul Pogba's future's uncertain, yeah, but we bring in Sancho. You've got Camavinga. You've got Varane. You've got other good players as well, you know, Bruno and Everett and Mason and Rashford and these other players. Martial, sorry. I always try to remember that with you because I know what I'll get. You lot, you don't even rate Martial. Right? Right? Martial, obviously. If you've got Paul Pogba in that team, is it worth just, even if you took the bite of the bullet and just get one season out of him, because he could be the difference between a real title challenge and not?
But if it was just going to be, we find out in January, Pogba's signed for Juventus, he's going to Juve this summer. But it's not going to be that.
No.
It's going to be some sort of auction.
Yeah,
it's going to be some sort of Mino Raiola's got his cock out on the front of AS. His brother's on Spanish TV talking with that geezer that does all that. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just going to become some sort of fucking.
Do you know what annoys? Do you know what annoys me with this the most, right? And this is it's almost goes unnoticed when we all talk about this. We all blame Raiola, right? A lot of people blame Paul Pogba as well. But Manchester United needs to look at themselves in all this as well. Because United, right, we got him from Le Havre in 2009, right? They were pissed off that he'd come to us because they developed him into this like wonder kid, and then we were, we'll have him. So then we were shocked when he decided he didn't want to stay with us and he wanted to go to Juve instead. And it was like, I can't believe he's done this to us. How dare
I rate that decision.
No, okay, right, fair enough, right? So then we had so shocked. Then we buy him for 89 million, right? We're getting back from Juve after giving him to him for free, right? We sign him on this deal with a deal for extension. In the back of your mind, it's got to be a part of you that's thinking, this guy left us once. He left Le Havre when he was a kid. He moves along when he wants to move along. He's got no like deep-seated affinity with Manchester United. If he wants to move, then his contract is going to go. We know Raiola's a nightmare to deal with. This could happen, and we've just sort of let it.
But United as well.
And now we're in this position where you're going, and I get what you're saying, but you're going like, we need to do something quickly. Why have we let ourselves get in a position where
Herrera?
Yeah, mate. We're what, a month away or 2 months away from the start of the season going, Paul Pogba again. It's another issue that we've got to deal with. And it's like we either get rid of him for 40 million or something, which seems crackers, but he's got a year left. Or we keep a player who potentially, like you said, in January can say, tell you what, in May I'm off to Juve again for nothing. So they've made 89 million quid off you lot, and then I'm going back there for now. And it's just ridiculous. And I think United have just got to look at themselves and think they've made an absolute mess of this again.
And they bought him without really knowing what they were buying.
Yeah.
They bought him like, wow, bought Pogba, he's going to win us the league now.
I think they bought him thinking he was like Brian Robson and Roy Keane rolled into one.
They bought a hot tub and the front door was like, it's like, bro, where's your priorities, man?
It was, and there's no plan. Then you had like, you know, Jose was moving, he was part of a 3, he was part of a 2, he was on the left, he was in the middle, he was in a 10, and, you know, it's one of those where there's just been a lot of messing about with Paul Pogba and where he's been played and the whole situation, and it just feels like it's one of those that's going to have a messy ending as well for me. I don't think this is going to be sort of
I've gone up and down as well by this. It was 2 years ago I was convinced he's leaving, and then as the time's gone on with COVID and everything, you think he's going to sign a new deal. And then I thought it would have happened during the season, and it doesn't happen. And it's almost like they're just very passive about it all.
I know.
One of the things that is in the back of my mind, though, has Pogba gone? Give me a reason to stay.
Yeah.
Like, be serious.
Yeah.
All right, you can offer me all the money in the world. Because if it was about money, Pogba would have signed 2 years ago, 3 years ago, because we got told by someone within the team, he's been offered the best contract this club has ever offered anybody. He's rejected it. He wants to go. He's told all the players he'll fight for this season and then he's off. We were told all this. So if you don't sign that contract, for me, it's not about money. So maybe United have gone, remember Rooney?
I said that once, and people were going, "No, you can't compare Paul Pogba to Wayne Rooney." Yes, you can, because the first time when Rooney had the contract thing was about not just money; it was strengthening money. It was strengthening the team, the squad. If you read Fergie's first book, he speaks about Eric retiring, and one of the things that Eric was saying was, A, he felt like he was a pawn for marketing at Manchester United, and B, he just felt that the club were as aggressive in the transfer market as they should have been.
He felt they weren't going to win the Champions League.
Yeah, he said that, and that's Fergie saying about Eric in his book. So, players do have that in them where they're going, look at the players around me. Now, I think Bruno could be a factor as well. I think Paul Pogba and Bruno has finally got someone alongside him who's of a similar class.
Varane?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? You bring in a Varane as well, and you've already got Sancho.
They didn't have beef at France today.
Mate, I don't know. Did anyone not have beef in the French squad? Did Varane's mum say something to Pogba's mum or something?
Teddy and Cole all over again, celebrating each other, not even looking at each other in the face.
Apparently all the families didn't kick off in the Euros with each other, so hopefully Varane's family didn't say anything to Pogba's, but you never know. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. But yeah, it sounds proper messy, and who knows what's going to happen. Maybe Varane coming in could be the tipping point.
My gut feeling now is, and it was a month ago, I would have said he signs a new deal. My gut feeling is now he leaves this summer.
Because you've always been Mr. He's staying. At the time, I remember you in the fan cams, I think it was Abdullah, was like, Pogba's got.
I was right.
You were right. Obviously, this was like 2 years ago, and everyone was saying it. Andy was saying it, Abdullah was saying it, loads of people were saying it, and you were like, he's staying, he's not going, and he did stay. But now, the fact that you sort of resigned yourself says it all to me, really. Vigard Nilsson in the chat says, imagine Camavinga ending up being our Kante and we keep Paul, so instead of only needing to put Fred and McSauce as CDMs, we can now just use Camavinga and allow Pogba and Bruno to be creative forward. Like you were saying there though, it might take a little while to get going in that sort of situation where we can bring him in and he does that Kante.
We can't, you know what we've just fixed as well? We've just finally fixed Ollie's at the wheel again. Like, we can't have Sancho, Paul Pogba and Fred, and now Pogba leaves.
I think that's as good a reason as any to keep him, to be honest with you, if not a better one.
Just so Old Trafford's bouncing.
Nirajan Kumar says, why for keepsy? Grant, I think he means goalkeepers. Grant,
Pogba should have goalkeepers.
Yeah, Pogba should have a new deal. David says McKola legend.
Thanks, David. Why not give, how people say, give nurses footballers' wages?
Yeah, but
give Pogba our goalkeepers' wages.
David De Gea's wages? Or Lee Grant's wages?
Dean Henderson.
It's about to say, I think we're on about giving him...
You know what? Some of the things I say, it sounds like I dislike Dean Henderson. I don't. I just find it cheeky.
Cheeky?
I just find it very cheeky.
But he's a cheeky chappy, isn't he? Yeah. Hey, come on. Hey.
But he's coming to this club. He's coming to act with his chest out. Like, fuck you, De Gea.
With his cap on from the shop.
Make United great again cap on. Telling De Gea to go fuck himself.
We're going down the road here. I don't want to go down. So we're going to move on. Because it's going to get, the lawyers are going to have to get involved. Should we talk about Alex Telles?
Yeah. Can we talk about Alex's shorts as well?
Alex Bagley's shorts? Yeah. Where is he?
Shorts.
Hey, you don't think you'd be able to see him if we got him to come
so tight then you can see the veins in his bollocks?
I don't think, because the way the camera's set up, but I only call him Alex Telles. Alex Bagley's got his shorts on there. He's got his white socks on. He's all set for Wimbledon. He's looking good. He's come in costume. Good lad.
He's got his polling card as well. He's deaf already.
Here's a shock. Inter are in for one of our players. Inter are considering Alex Telles on loan. Italian media report that Inter have an interest in signing Telles on loan. Would this...
Have they got a new manager yet?
Inzaghi.
Pippo or Simeone?
There you go. Would this pave the way for United to sign Trippier? I'm going to say... Well, I'll let you answer first, actually.
If Trippier happens, it'll be the end of the window, but...
I don't think that's happening.
Keep Diogo Dalot, man.
Yeah.
It's being stupid.
Hey, how much are you saying that because you like Diogo Dalot as a player, and how much are you saying it because he's dead nice to us on social media?
I'm saying it for both reasons. I ain't going to lie.
I do like Diogo Dalot.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
If we were on Instagram, it would 100% be because he's watching us right now.
Yeah, but I like that though.
On YouTube,
you know what I mean? He's a good guy.
He's not always watching,
right,
so I could probably slip in something I don't mean. But I'm genuine, like...
What did you make of him in the Euros?
I liked him.
Diogo Dalot, because he came in out of, like, Cancelo got obviously COVID. Dalot was drafted in last minute.
Played well, I thought.
Yeah, he did well.
He showed no fear. He messed up a few times his final ball, but he showed no fear. He stayed high up the pitch. The only thing is, can you have him and Sancho on one wing? Is that too saucy? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
whereas Wan-Bissaka will be the bodyguard and look after Jadon Sancho. But is there much difference between Trippier and Delô?
I think there is a little bit, but my thing is there 40 million quid's worth of difference? Because
Yardy says Ethan Laird as well.
Ethan Laird, yeah, I think Ethan Laird maybe goes out on loan again. He did really well, didn't he, at MK Dons? I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing if he came back, if he stayed this season, sorry. I think the question mark with Ethan Laird was never his ability. If you look at him and Brandon Williams in the academy, they were both on a similar sort of level. It was just, he kept getting these injuries, Ethan Laird, and there was a real danger that he wasn't ever going to be able to make it or kick on because of the amount of injuries he's getting. Kept himself fit, had a bit of a rub of the green with injuries, and did really well. So maybe that is an option. Brandon Williams as well can play on the right-hand side as well, not to forget. Read out that name for me.
Surab with another one says, imagine Rabiot joining United and his mum on the stands bashing Fred's family. We would become a house of clowns after Glazers did their part. Ollie has dodged some bullets, I must say. An assassin of ages.
Mate, could all be kicking off.
Sounds like a game, that, isn't it? Assassin of ages.
Assassin of ages. Yeah, it does actually.
Assassin.
I like that. Tez Bez says, Trippers is better than Delô.
Yeah, he probably is right now, but do you know what I mean? Like,
well, the trouble is, like,
is he 20 million worth better than Delô?
Atletico started like being a bit silly about it, haven't they, as well? Because there was talk of, we can get Trippier cheap, like you're saying, 20 million, and then, you know, we spoke to Romano the other week, and he was saying he wanted 40 million for him. And it's like, hang on a minute.
He's not worth 40 million with Sal Niguez in his pocket.
That's what I mean. Come on, man. As well, like, he's only got like 1 year left on his deal, and he's 30, and also he's going to come in as our second choice.
And he's like looking for a house in the north of Manchester right now. Right, in the north of England. Like, he clearly wants to make this move.
Yeah.
Stop pricing him out of it, you bellend.
Exactly. He's from Bury. He wants to come back to Manchester, or great to Manchester, as some would
Following
argue.
the footsteps of Gary Neville.
Gary Neville, Gary and Phil, Following the footsteps of other fantastic fullbacks from Bury. Talking
Not better than Wes Brown, though.
No. Wes Brown is elite. Wes Brown is the best right back ever.
Is the only English right back to ever assist in a Champions League final.
With his left foot.
As well.
Yeah. Played 56 games that season, I believe.
He's the only Englishman.
Yeah.
Right back.
Yeah.
To win two Champions League.
Yeah. Yeah. 2 Champions Leagues. Yeah.
He's the only Englishman to win the Jimmy Murphy Player of the Year.
Yeah.
And the treble in the same season.
And have his missus on the Real Housewives of Cheshire.
Yep.
No Englishman's done all those things that we've just mentioned.
And she's taken up some celebrity boxing, apparently.
Exactly. Levels to this game.
Hopefully she's not fighting a YouTuber's son.
Mate, oh my God.
She's fighting Jay's son.
Listen, I'm not saying I'm the best dad in the world, but even I won't go that far and throwing my lad in with someone who's going to batter him.
I want to kill you. Fight my son.
Right, yeah, son. I don't want to fight you. He'll fight you.
I want to kill you. Go on, son. Have him.
Son, you did us proud. Never mind. We got a load of views. A lot of super chats.
Am I the black eye? Wait till you see them super chats.
It's amazing what they can do with surgery nowadays. You won't notice. Yeah, on the Delô front. I mean, this says it all, really, doesn't it? Carlo Ancelotti. Oh, yeah, we spoke about this once him at Real Madrid. Yeah, it shows, though, doesn't it, that if someone like Ancelotti wants you at Madrid, you're not rubbish with Delô. Do you know what I mean? He's been so dismissed, hasn't he, by so many United fans.
He wanted him at Everton, though, didn't he?
I know he wanted Romero at one point as well. I don't know if he wanted
Was
Delô.
that Rojo?
Yeah, Rojo nearly went. Before Ancelotti, Rojo went. It just fell through, didn't it, on deadline day, do you remember? Because I think he was on massive money, as all Manchester United players are, and wanted the same at Goodison, and they were like, no, we're not giving you that, don't be stupid.
What about Phil Jones, man?
Yeah, someone's asking in the chat, saying what about, Neo Zach says, Jones out, please. I think it's just, he's constantly injured, isn't he? I think we're trying to get him off the books, but he got a contract extension.
It's sad, isn't it? It's not funny anymore.
It's not funny, and also, it just shows how badly this club is run, because even he was saying, like, he didn't expect to get the contract extension he got. He thought he was going to get another 12 months, that was the deal. They gave him a new deal, I think, for 3 years, and for the last 2 years, he's barely kicked a ball. I think he played, once or twice last season? 5 times or something the season before? And I know he's injured as well, but, I mean, he's almost become completely useless to Manchester United in the sense that we can't use him for anything.
You know what we should do?
Yeah.
Because I worry about him. mentally.
I know you're being serious.
I'm being serious.
No, I know you are. I'm not going to say it.
We should. Him and De Gea should have a testimonial together.
Oh, I like what you're doing there. Do you know what that reminds me of? Do you remember when Rooney had his contract situation against West Brom?
Yeah.
And Fergie brought on Rooney and Scholes together. So he couldn't boo, because I would never boo anyway.
How are you going to boo Scholes?
Yeah, but like people were like, Rooney, fucking, Scholes, I love you. I was just like, that's so clever. So yeah, you could maybe do that, because
I think do a double testimonial.
Yeah.
We'll raise loads of money for charity and stuff.
Yeah.
There'll be loads of fans there.
Yeah.
For De Gea, but Jonesy will be there.
Yeah.
And they both won the title together. The last one we won.
That
you
money,
could get Fergie in the dugout. You could get that team back.
I've got an idea for that money for charity as well.
Welbeck will be there.
If Welbeck's there, I'm there. We're there.
We're there.
That money for charity could go. My daughter cried.
Oh yeah.
At the Derby game when Phil Jones missed the penalty.
Oh,
so I think it's only right that he donates the money from his testimonial to my daughter.
She also cried after we got knocked out of the cup by Middlesbrough, was it?
No, that was the Derby game by Derby County.
Oh, you meant Manchester.
No, she cried. She cried.
Derby County she cried against.
Yeah.
Not on the telly, England, Germany, at the Euros, fucking privilege game.
No.
Derby. League Cup.
Yeah.
Surrounded by 10,000 people.
Yeah.
Freezing.
Doing a countdown at the end like all the kids do. And what happens? Penalties. Hey, losing to Frank Lampard's Derby County. Should be ashamed of yourselves.
That's worth at least 100 grand. Now.
Exactly, but I'll take a fiver. David says, no he doesn't. David says, top content, Jay and Adam. Grealish or Bellingham? You can answer this one.
Both, but Jack Grealish.
Juan Martinez says, De Gea was once world class and I get Adam loves him, but the facts and stats are Hendo has been better than him the last two seasons, even at Sheffield.
If De Gea was at Sheffield, would they have got relegated though?
Jack Carter says, Adam, I'm surprised you dragged Jay from Love Island. Don't worry about
So am I, to be honest. I did ask you earlier.
This is the dedication I have for this channel, mate. Do you know what I mean?
I did ask you earlier, like, what's going on? Ain't you been watching it? I haven't watched none of this one.
Nah, I watched a couple of it. It's alright. It's not up there with the vintage seasons, but,
Because they're too worried about mental health and things, aren't they? They're not letting them
go crazy. One girl was in there for like 8 hours, and she went...
What was that guy's name on Big Brother? Was it... He started smashing the plates and that.
Oh, Science.
No, not Science. Remember the Asian guy with the glasses?
No, yeah.
He just started smashing plates and that.
What was his name?
Back in the day when it was good.
Yeah.
And he had Johnny and Kate Lawler.
Yeah.
I used to love Kate Lawler as a kid.
Yeah, that was good, mate. Those were the days, but obviously...
Science was mint though, wasn't he?
But he's the one that like went into the fridge and took the bottle of wine, and they were saving the bottle of wine and he just walked off with it.
Wasn't that the one where the bottle of wine?
Yes.
Ended up inside?
Kinga, wasn't it? Hey, they don't make television like they used to, but I realise this has got absolutely...
I was in school watching that shit, bro.
Nothing to do. I was disgusted. I mean, I watched it.
I was probably having a wank, but...
You know.
Every
time I watched it, I was disgusted. All 42 times. Anyway, move on. Let's wrap it up. Just finally, though, stadiums. We're going back in stadiums, McKola. Me and thee, we're going to be there for the Leeds game, because Boris Johnson's opened his mouth and said something that doesn't infuriate me for once, and that's that football fans are going to be allowed back in the stadiums in August.
I don't think it's happening.
Okay.
I think there's another lockdown at some point.
Well...
But... we got into Old Trafford before when we weren't supposed to be, so who knows, we'll still be at the game.
Yes, we decide when you
say we.
Yeah, we didn't. It's the royal we, the editorial. We were outside in a perfectly legal position. Honest. Right, we'll leave it there.
And finally, our reaction to when the picture fell.
Oh, and finally, our reaction to when the picture fell.
Is that a video? Picture?
This is how you know it's live. Right. Thanks for getting involved in the chats. Thanks for all the comments. Don't forget as well to give us a like, give us a share, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell as well, because we will be going live when we do, or if we do sign Raphael Varane or Eduardo Camavinga or anyone else. So make sure you are getting those notifications. That's been Adam McKola. You know where to find him. What are you up to this week? You're back on it, aren't you?
I'm not having a wank over Kinga. The Minga.
Well, that makes at least 50% of this channel.
Kick off and my channel. Just subscribe to Stretford Paddock, because listen, we're so close to 600,000.
Yeah,
and it feels like we've been here for ages. What the fuck's wrong with you, man? Subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. I've been Jay. That's been Macca. Thanks for watching.